You open your phone, scroll for a few minutes, watch a video, then another, then another. And after a while, something strange happens. Nothing feels that interesting anymore. Not because there's nothing to watch, but because everything starts to feel the same. You switch apps. You look for something new, but the feeling doesn't change. And it's not just your phone. You try to focus on something slower, reading, studying, working on something important, and it feels even worse, heavier, more effort, less rewarding. So you go back to fast content, but even that doesn't feel as good as it used to. And most people explain this in a simple way. They say, I'm just bored. I need something more interesting. I just haven't found the right thing. But that explanation doesn't go deep enough, because this isn't just boredom. This is your brain adapting. Boredom is not a new feeling. Humans have always experienced it, but the type of boredom people feel today is different. Before, boredom meant nothing to do, no stimulation, no input. Now, boredom happens even when there's endless content, constant entertainment, unlimited options. That's not a lack of stimulation. That's a change in how your brain responds to it. To understand this, you need to understand dopamine correctly. Dopamine. Dopamine is not just about pleasure. It controls motivation, attention, anticipation. It activates when your brain expects something rewarding, not when you receive it. That's important because it means dopamine is about seeking, not having. In the past, dopamine spikes were rare. They came from finding food, social interaction, achieving something. Now, dopamine triggers are everywhere. Every scroll, every notification, every new video. Your brain is constantly expecting something better, and that expectation becomes the problem. Modern platforms use something very specific: variable reward schedule. This means you don't know what comes next. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. That unpredictability keeps your brain engaged because it keeps expecting a better reward. This is the same principle used in gambling systems, gaming loops, and it's very effective. Here's what happens over time. Your brain gets used to high stimulation, so your baseline shifts. Things that used to feel interesting now feel normal. Things that used to feel normal now feel boring. This is not because they changed, it's because your brain adapted. Your brain works on contrast, high versus low, exciting versus calm, fast versus slow. But when everything is high stimulation, there's no contrast left, so your brain stops reacting strongly and everything starts to feel the same. Now think about activities like reading, studying, working. They don't give instant rewards, they build slowly. But your brain is now used to fast rewards, so slower activities feel less engaging, more effortful, harder to start. Not because they're worse, but because they don't match your brain's new expectation. This creates a loop. You feel bored, so you seek stimulation. You find fast content. Your brain adapts. Baseline increases. Everything else feels boring, so you go back again. And the cycle continues. Motivation depends on reward perception. If your brain doesn't expect a strong reward, it doesn't push you to act. So things like studying, working, long-term goals feel harder to start because the reward feels distant. This doesn't feel like a brain change. It feels like lack of interest, low motivation, boredom. So people blame themselves. But the system is influencing the behavior. Your brain is doing what it's designed to do: adapt to patterns, to environments, to input levels. It's not broken, it's trained. So the real question isn't, why is everything so boring? The real question is, what has my brain become used to? Because once your baseline shifts, everything else feels different. Not because the world changed, but because your brain did.